Before man and machine, there was only beast. Kill or be killed. We rely on pure strength. Able to tap our foes out in a single, well-executed hit. Be warned, traveler, this power rivals that of the gods. Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today's build is the Shaman Earthquake Leap build, where we'll be using Leap to do really good melee damage, and we'll be using Earthquake to do a triple strike of really good damage. Both of them can hit the training dummy for over 200k damage. Against mobs, you can get up to 30, 40, 50, 90k crits, depending on what kind of protections they have. It is a very hard-hitting, hard-critting skill, and it's kind of fun to play. However, it is kind of slower paced when it comes to the actual combat, as Leap has a very long cooldown, and Earthquake isn't something that you can proc over and over again, because a lot of your damage is going to be coming from a lot of skills in your passive tree that only affect skills once every 3 or 5 seconds, but we'll get into that. To play this build, all you're going to do is run around with your character and have Ice Thorns on autocast, throw down a Frenzy Totem for some extra damage, and then whenever you want to hit something, you either leap on them or you hit them with Earthquake. If you run out of mana because you're spamming Earthquake, you have Tempest Strike as a backup that you just use for mana. Other than that, I don't really ever use it. I mostly just focus on leaping and Earthquaking every 3 to 5 seconds just to make sure I get the most damage out of it. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills. For skills, we're running Tempest Strike, Summon Frenzy Totem, Ice Thorns, Fury Leap, and Earthquake. For Tempest Strike, this is just if you want to get mana back. I don't use it in this build. This is not the most optimal setup to just get mana back. However, we do have a chance to proc the Storm Totem when we do use it with this, and you do get mana back decently, as you have 2 of the 3 procs disabled, and the only one that you can proc is the Lightning Bolt. We have 1 point in Static, 5 points in Unspent Power, 2 points in With the Wind, 3 points in Storm's Aid, 1 point in Tempestuous, 1 point in Mute Earth, 1 point in Storm Strike, 3 points in Lightning Can Strike Twice, 1 point in Storm Lord, 1 point in Charged Stone, and 1 point in Dead Wind. For Summon Frenzy Totem, we will be summoning this quite often. There are 2 ways to build it. This first way is just to give you a bunch of damage without taking more damage. We have 5 points in Grounded, 1 point in Dig In, 5 points in Dig Deep, and 4 points in Teutonic Reach, with 5 points in Reinforced Totem to finish it off. Now, you can take these 5 points out and maybe 1 point out of the Teutonic Reach and put 2 points into Rapidity and 4 points into Berserker Frenzy, which will give you 200% increased damage. Now, it's just increased damage, not more damage. It'll also give you some more critical strike chance. However, you'll take 40% more damage, which counteracts the entire Berserker node and the aspect of the boar when you do achieve those. So you'll have to be taking a lot more damage. Your survivability will go down. However, you will do more damage. I don't run it in this build, however, because I like to be able to face tank bosses and not even worry about it. For Ice Thorns, you can put this on autocast. However, I don't use it in this build for the most part because I don't want it taking away from my passives that just give me extra flat damage every 3 to 5 seconds. I want to use that with my main skills. So you could throw in Thorn Totem or throw in any skill that just procs, something that you don't have to actually cast. And even if this is cast when you get hit, I think it still steals that attack and flat damage that you get out of your passive, so I'd be careful with that. I haven't tested it, but it's just something that I've stayed away from by just not using this skill at all. However, the setup here, we do have 1 point in Emblem of Might, 1 point in Anem Affiliate, 1 point in Thorn Shield, 4 points in Bulb Shield, 1 point in Second Nature, 6 points in Floric Tides, 3 points in Bark Shield, and 3 points in Eternal Protection. For Fury Leap, this is one of your 2 main DPS skills. This is also your movement skill. We have 5 points in Ambush Predator so that you have 175% more damage against enemies that are at full health. So the first hit against bosses, I would recommend doing Leap. After that, just mostly use Earthquake. 1 point in Gravity to pull enemies in. 4 points in Crater for a huge landing area. 3 points in Savage Impact. 6 points in Savage Impact. Those have the exact same name. I think that was a mistake. This one gives you another 150% critical multiplier on top of the hit damage that you get out of the other one, and then 1 point in Unshackled. Since we're wearing Insanguius in the boots and we have low life, we'll always critical strike whenever we leap, which is really nice. And then for Earthquake, we have 4 points in Rupture, 1 point in Seismic Smash, 1 point in Seismic Tide, 4 points in Sunder, 2 points in Lethargy, 2 points in Outbreak, and 5 points in Shatterquake to have 150% more hit damage against chilled or frozen enemies. And you can get 90% chill chance just in the passive tree alone, so you don't even have to worry about getting chill on hit on your weapon or anything else. Now, we are only level 19 with the skill. Level 20, the 5th point will go into Sunder, so that you can have 10 stacks of Armor Shred applied per hit. For passives, we have 35 points in the base Primalist class with 6 points in Gift of the Wilderness, 3 points in Natural Attunement, 1 point in Primal Strength, 5 points in Tempest Born, 5 points in Survival of the Pack, 5 points in Berserker. This one's huge. It gives you 100% more melee damage while we're on low life, so all the time, and we'll take 30% less damage at all times. Then we have 10 points in Ancestral Weaponry. Since we're using an axe, this means that every time we do an attack, we have 40 added melee physical damage to it, which is huge. For the Beastmaster, we have 20 points with 5 points in Savagery, 5 points in Ambush, 4 points in Boreheart, 5 points in Porcine Constitution, and 1 point in Call of the Pack. And then for Shaman, we have 56 points. We have 8 points in Shamanic Infusion, 1 point in Silent Protector, 5 points in Ligonian Wraith, 8 points in Tempest Form, 2 points in Windbringer, 5 points in Hailbringer, 5 points in Shattered Heavens, 8 points in Glacial Strike, 1 point in Dervish, 10 points in Rhythm of Thunder. This gives us 60 added melee lightning damage every 3 seconds. So you want to time your attacks at least 3 seconds apart for a huge boost in damage. 3 points in Elemental Shrines. There is another one, which is the Glacial Strike, which every 5 seconds gives you an additional 40 cold damage on attack. So that's another one. If you can wait 5 seconds in between attacks, you'll get 40 added cold and 60 added lightning, which is 100 base damage. For our items, we're running health idols. We have percent increase, flat health, just mix and match and stack whatever you can to get more health. The more health you have, the more ward regen that you'll have, which is going to help with your survivability. Now, some of the passives that we took and in some of the skills, you have some leech. So we are wearing Boulder Fist so that we cannot leech life, as you do not want to leech life, as that will kill your ward regen immensely quickly. The other 2 uniques is, of course, in Zanguius and Last Steps of the Living, so that you have a percentage of your health lost every second and it replaced with ward. For our weapon, we have a 2-handed Kraken Beak, which comes with 90 melee physical damage and between, I believe, 13 and 25 melee cold damage. So you already get some physical and melee damage, huge amount right off the bat. Then we added more melee physical. We gave ourselves a huge critical strike chance. You don't need that for Leap, but for Earthquake, we wanted to give ourselves a good chance to crit with all 3 hits. And when you use Frenzy Totem, you get 250% increase, so you're sitting at just over 50% critical strike chance. And then we did plus all attributes so that we could get more of our vitality for more health. We also got strength to do more damage. And then your chance to shred armor on hit is self-explanatory. It's always going to be helpful, especially against bosses. For our helm, we have set physical and void, vitality, increased health, flat health. You're going to put health on everything and anything that you can get it on. For our amulet, I would recommend changing this. This is an amulet from a different build, however it did come with lots of health, so we kept it. We don't need poison protection and we don't need damage over time. I would recommend physical penetration and physical damage, or anything else that you could possibly want on this you can put on it. For our rings, we have set physical and void, vitality, health. The belt, we have percent of potion converted to ward. We have ignite chance for 4 seconds on potion use. Again, that one's pretty much useless. I would go with dodge for 4 seconds. Lots of health. On our ring, set physical and void, vitality, health, elemental resist. And then for the relic, more potion health converted toward vitality, health, and elemental resist. Yes, a lot of these items I've used on a different character. We didn't make all new characters or items for this build. There are some places where you could definitely min-max better. For our character sheet, as you can see, we're lacking the resistance, but the damage we take is very little. We have 60% damage mitigation almost at all times, so that's super helpful. And with the amount of ward regen we have, you're going to go pretty far. You can face tank all of the bosses in the game. Not very much armor, pretty much a 0% dodge. And as you can see, our damages aren't all that much, but we do sit at almost 3,500 health, and that is where our survivability comes in. To level this build, this is a bit different. Obviously, this character was level 100 when I started putting this build together with it, but I would recommend leveling it like you would any other character, using lots of companions early game like the Sabertooth and the Wolves. Get yourself to a nice high level. Then you can use Earthquake. It does really good damage during the leveling process. Leap is another one that you can do. I wouldn't recommend Ice Thorns or Tempest Strike early game. Once you get Frenzy Totem, I'd use that as a third. So to recap, first skill, use Leap. Second skill, do Earthquake. Third, do Frenzy Totem. And then for the fourth and fifth, you can do whatever you want. Again, even in this build, they don't matter.